If you had Nvidia stock, it's probably a bad day for you.
There's a Chinese LM called DeepSeek R1.
New models are released all the time. You have lots of open source models, all of that. However, this one in the why do I care matrix jumps up because the amount of energy and computational power required to actually make it hum and do AI things is much, much, much less. Okay.
So China says.
So China says, when you're looking at what is required for these AI models to properly render, it's the same thing you need for password cracking rigs. It's the same thing that you need for video game processing, lots and lots of simple mathematical algorithms running very, very fast and massive parallelism. So if you can do it with less power, you can do it with fewer GPUs, and you can kick all these things out, that effectively kicks the entire IT stock market, NASDAQ in the nuts hard.
Yeah.
So this company, DeepSeek, that published this model that we've been talking about, they also have like a ChatGPT instance of it, and it got smashed. It's being attacked, and they have new user registrations disabled. Let's talk about the Stargate thing. It's a little bit of a beef between Elon Musk and Sam Altman, which is just stupid and
so fun.
Classic. And of course, they're already just like tweeting at each other, being like, "You don't have the money." Yeah, I do. Like,
no, you don't.
The government is working a partnership or supporting a partnership to collect capital to invest in data centers.
They already have the data center built, by the way. There already is a data center. They're not.
But they don't have any A100s. They just have open shelves.
But the A100 is a cost-effective inference GPU that costs about $8,000.
The full R1 model, right, takes 16 A100s.
And to buy the A100s, they need $500 billion.
Take that VHS Betamax Laserdisc argument that happened back in the 80s. And now have people putting $500 billion on Betamax. Like, that's where the bubble is going to be coming from.
Yeah.
Department of Homeland Security Cyber Review Board is cleaned out in Trump's move to eliminate misuse of resources. This impacts CISA. This impacts the research for Salt Typhoon. I agree with the idea, like, hey, the government should be more efficient. I do agree with that. But like this review board and like what they're funding with CISA and looking at cyber attacks and understanding cyber attacks and getting in front of cyber attacks and sharing information, like we kind of need that in the industry. You know, a lot of the businesses that were kind of behind this move that were pushing politically in the back end, they're like, we don't need the government. We don't need the government to tell us what we did wrong. We will self-regulate. And I honestly... this is tied to the AI stuff and everything. It's like, when has these companies doing self-regulation ever worked well? I really want to talk about the UnitedHealthcare breach. UnitedHealth paid the ransom, but what's interesting is the actual people that did the ransom never got paid out. The ransom payment was supposed to be split between the affiliate and the ransomware operators, but Black Cat suddenly shut down and kept the entire ransom for themselves. And then the hackers went back and then re-ransomed UnitedHealthcare and got a second ransom out of them.
Security researcher figured out if you send someone an image on Discord or other chats, then you can check essentially what region of Cloudflare cached that image. And then depending on that, it'll tell you roughly where that user is based. Obviously, VPNs are at play, so like it's not really that big of a deal. It's basically like a mini dox. It's like, you don't live in China, you just hit this from New York City, like, you know, or whatever. Security researchers found an API call that essentially lets you take over someone's Subaru account, and then you can become like an authorized user of their account, which means you can like track their location, you can unlock their doors, like do all kinds of whatever control is enabled in this app. Kudos to Sam Curry for the write-up on this. You could use this as a how to hack an API like class. It literally looks like something we would put in a pen test report. The security researcher did disclose it to Subaru, and they fixed it in like a very short time. This is the story about the European power grid. This is two security researchers, I believe, or maybe more, who are living in Berlin and are like just looking at RF signals, which if you've ever been a hacker, you've probably done this. Basically, they figured out that there was unencrypted communications for like almost all of Central Europe's power grid. They captured some of the RF signals and then replayed them and realized, oh, so this just shuts off some stuff on the power grid. There's no authentication at all with the request, and there's no encryption either. So it's like UDP for power grid management.
Yeah, we're just going to see another reason for people to ban flipper zeros.
Join us for live InfoSec news every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Black Hills InfoSec YouTube channel.